I'm back with another update on the Young Thug / YSL case that's happening here in Atlanta. And I know there was a lot of people, you came into my comments, but also there was just a lot of frustration on TikTok about that ex parte conversation once that transcript was released. There was a lot of people that really perceived that, rightfully so, as Woody being bullied. And there was some questions about at what point was he offered immunity. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but can you please just give me a minute or two to clear up all the outstanding items? I've also said I'm not an attorney, but I added the Luncheon Lawyer and Bomber Dog below. Please go follow their accounts because they are. For starters, Judge Glanville finally acquiesced and said that he will allow another judge to determine whether or not he should recuse. There have been 3 motions for Judge Glanville to recuse himself from this case. He originally said, nope, not even listening to this. I don't care what you have to say. Finally, he relented and is allowing another judge, a Judge Krause, to step in. Now, Krause is also within the Fulton County Superior Court, and it sounds as though Glanville has a higher rank, I guess, than Krause. So there is some concern, not just because they're colleagues, but because Krause might see him as a little bit more of a superior. Would he be willing to have a judgment that's contradictory to what Glanville's already said? But I think it is a great first step to have an outside judge. This is what we wanted all along, was an impartial judge come in and look at these motions to recuse. Second, the show cause hearing has been canceled. That was the one where he was going to call everyone in to try and figure out who was the snitch who told the defense about the ex parte conversation. Apparently, allegedly, there's some courthouse video, and allegedly, the judge is now led to believe that it was Kayla Bumpus that had that conversation. So I'm not saying whether she did it or not. I do not know if she did it or not, but he has canceled the show cause hearing, so I'm guessing he thinks she does. And third, he did relent to release the transcript, which we know he has done, and I'm going to talk about that. So for starters, just to be perfectly clear, I am under the impression that Woody already had immunity before he walked in the court on June 7th to testify. There are a lot of people that read that transcript and thought in that moment he didn't want to take immunity and they were bullying him into taking immunity. But I'm under the impression that Woody was promised all the way back in 2021 that he could have immunity if he would show up and testify in this case. And because he's been free since 2021, he therefore accepted the immunity. So hold on a minute, let me show you. So this article tells us that back in 2021, Copeland was arrested. He was found in possession of a gun, which is forbidden because he is already a convicted felon. So this would have been a 10-year jail sentence for him. Now, he has admitted that and this is a quote, "I lied on them to get myself out of the situation." So he sat with police for a number of hours and started, which I think any of us would have done. Shit, if I'm facing 10 years in jail, I'm like, I know everything. What do you want to know? I'd be throwing everybody under the bus. Well, he did this, right? And they have lots and lots of video and audio of him talking to the police. And they asked him, as part of a condition, we won't charge you for this if you come back and you testify in this case. So because Woody's been free for almost 3 years, of course he accepted the deal, right? Or he would have been sitting in jail the entire time. He already would have been sentenced to 10 years. But he accepted this, obviously, not realizing maybe he doesn't understand what immunity is, but he accepted the deal back then. So before he even walked in on Friday, June 7th, he already had immunity, a prearranged immunity from a couple of years ago, and he knew this day would come. This is how he's been lucky enough to stay out of jails, because he knew this day was coming. Now, according to him in that transcript, the days leading up to this Friday, so on that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, he was saying to his attorney, I've changed my mind, I'm not doing this. Now, I think Woody probably has a lot of legitimate reasons for wanting to change his mind. I think he's fearful that if he goes in front of a courtroom and he goes on record and he says all of the things he said, and if this really is a very dangerous street gang, Woody knows that's not going to do well. But he also said he's done a lot of bad things and he doesn't want to be put on record, so his friends and family, whoever still think very highly of him, would then think very poorly of him, and he doesn't want that. So he's scared, he wants to change his mind, and I think the problem is the prosecution is thinking 3 years ago, we let this guy walk on a felony gun charge and he's screwing us. Now you got to hand it to Woody, because even though he has said repeatedly, he doesn't see well, he doesn't hear well, he has asked them to repeat questions because he says he doesn't comprehend things. He says himself he did not make it very far in school. He doesn't understand what you're asking. And so it's really easy to believe that Woody is somehow deficient, that he might not really be fully aware of what's happening here. But it's also really easy to see that he is a slippery little sucker, and I think he's smart as shit, and he's making the prosecutor pay the price for putting all of their eggs in his one basket, because that's what they did. They had him dead to rights on a felony gun charge, and they rolled the dice and said, tell us everything you know, get your ass up on that stand, tell us everything you know, we need your help putting these guys away. And Woody went, well, maybe not. I think the ex parte conversation was exactly what they wanted it to be. It was get him in the room and help him understand, you already have immunity. You took immunity to do this. And if you don't honor that immunity, you're going back to jail. And I think Woody's like, oh, well, throw me in jail. Like, he's really, in my mind, by my math, he's already had 3 free years, right? Because he wasn't immediately hauled off to jail after the gun charge. So Woody's probably thinking, well, suckered you guys for 3 years. I think the days leading up to it, that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, when he was saying in the transcript, I tried to tell you I was not going to testify, they had no plan B. This prosecution has spent 3 years thinking, don't worry, we'll get Woody up there and he's going to fucking bury everybody. And they had no idea that he would back out. There's no honor among thieves. Anyway, in my opinion, it looks like they're fucking panicking. That whole ex parte was an attempt to bully him. Now, I think if you explained it to him, because he did say, I don't understand what's going on, there is a way to explain it to him without the legal ease and be able to say, listen, you did something bad. You were supposed to pay for it. We didn't make you pay for it. This is how you pay for it. Like, there's a way to explain it to him so he can't understand. But I think he understands what he's doing. And I think he's been trolling him the entire fucking time. So this is why the prosecution attorneys have been arguing now for almost 2 weeks, trying to get all of those videotapes and audio tapes of Woody's interrogation, the times, every time he's talked to the police, every time he's snitched. They're now called the snitch tapes. They want those admitted because he won't testify on the stand. And they think the only way to get into the court record what he actually told them all those years ago is to play the tapes. So that's what they've been fighting about now. Wait and see if Judge Krause can get this on his docket and get the motions to recuse heard. And I'll keep you posted as I find out more.